Hey, bright minds, what if, right now, the sun just disappeared? No sunrise, no heat, no warning, just poof, gone. Would Earth freeze instantly? Would we fly into space like a lost balloon? Could we survive in the cold darkness? Today, we're asking one of the biggest what-ifs in science. What if the sun suddenly disappeared? Get ready for a wild ride through cosmic chaos, frozen oceans, and maybe the search for a new star. Before the lights go out, smash that like button like a solar flare, subscribe to Bright Mind Station, and tap that bell so you don't miss a single spark of science. The moment the sun disappears, nothing changes for 8 full minutes. Why? Because it takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds for sunlight to travel from the sun to Earth. So for those few final moments, birds chirp, waves crash, phones buzz, and no one knows the sun is gone. But then, boom, total darkness. No sunrise tomorrow, no blue sky, just instant black, like someone hit a cosmic light switch. The moon, gone too. The stars, unchanged, but they seem brighter now. Earth becomes a ghost planet, drifting in silence through space. But wait, it gets worse. The sun's gravity is what keeps us orbiting. Without it, Earth would start flying off in a straight line at 107,000 kilometers per hour, like a roller coaster with no track. And we're not alone. All planets would fly apart in different directions, turning the solar system into a cosmic billiard table. So yeah, the first 8 minutes? Calm. After that? Total anarchy. Would you rather be in the last 8 minutes of sunlight or the first minute of darkness? Drop an emoji if this part gave you chills. And let's talk about what happens next. Now that the lights are out, how long before Earth turns to ice? Answer: not long at all. Within 24 hours, average global temperatures drop below freezing. Cities get colder than the Arctic. Birds migrate, but there's no more south to fly to. After a week, the surface of oceans begins to freeze. Lakes turn to solid ice. Even tropical places like the Amazon become silent and snow-covered. But it's not just cold. It's dark. No light, no warmth, no solar power. Humans would panic, and nature would start to die. The power grid fails. Crops collapse. Entire cities might move underground or into heated survival bunkers. But there's a twist. Earth has a hot iron core, so the planet stays warm from the inside. That means some geothermal hotspots, like Iceland or Yellowstone, could become refuge zones where people huddle around heat vents, cook, and survive. Deep sea vents would keep ocean life alive for a while, even after the surface freezes. But surface life? Most of it disappears in weeks or months. Would you camp out in a volcano to stay warm? Drop a if this chilling scenario gave you goosebumps. No sun, no light. No light equals no photosynthesis. And no photosynthesis? That's the end of food chains as we know them. Plants need sunlight to make oxygen and food. Without it, photosynthesis stops within days. Plants wilt, trees die, forests go silent. In the oceans, it's even worse. Tiny creatures called phytoplankton use sunlight to feed the entire marine ecosystem. When they vanish, fish die, squid disappear, even whales go hungry. And on land, crops can't grow, chickens stop laying, livestock runs out of food. Within months, most natural food sources are gone, leaving only canned food, hydroponics fungi grown in the dark. But even then, humans face another danger. Oxygen levels drop. With plants dead, we stop making new oxygen, and over time, it becomes harder to breathe. Scientists believe we'd have enough oxygen for hundreds of years, but without a working ecosystem, human civilization would collapse. So could we survive? Maybe, if we acted fast. But the clock would be ticking. Would you grow mushrooms underground to save the world? Drop a if you're rooting for Earth's last greenhouse? Okay, here's the big question. Could humans actually survive without the sun? Maybe, but we'd have to become planetary engineers, and fast. Here's how. Underground cities. powered by geothermal heat with artificial light, water recycling, and oxygen farms. Think bunkers, but with Wi-Fi and hydroponics, fusion reactors. Scientists are working on machines that could mimic the sun's power. They're called tokamaks, and they might be humanity's best shot at rebuilding lost energy. Artificial suns. We could try building solar stations in orbit, powered by nuclear fusion or giant light mirrors. Planet hopping. If Earth can't be saved, we'd have to leave. That means spaceships to Mars, Europa, or beyond cryo-sleep chambers. Taking Earth's DNA and culture to start over? It would be like rebooting humanity on another planet, and maybe, just maybe, we'd search for another sun. Some stars are bigger, brighter, and longer lasting than ours. Could we make it in time? Nobody knows for sure. But this scenario proves humans are smart. We adapt. And when the light goes out, we find a way to shine. Would you help rebuild the world in the dark? Drop a rocket if you'd be part of Team Earth 2.0. Let's calm things down for a second. Could the sun actually disappear? Answer: nope. Our sun is a stable yellow dwarf star. It's not about to vanish, explode, or fly away. It still has about 5 billion years of fuel left. When it does die, it will grow into a red giant, swallow Mercury and Venus, maybe even Earth, then shrink into a white dwarf, glowing quietly for trillions of years. So no, the sun won't suddenly disappear. But thinking about it teaches us how life depends on stars, how fragile Earth really is, and how important sunlight is to everything we see, breathe, and eat. Would you want to live long enough to see the sun become a red giant? Drop a if your brain just expanded like a star. From 8 minutes of peace to a frozen Earth, from dying forests to artificial suns. Today we explored what would happen if the sun suddenly disappeared. We saw how fragile our planet is, how everything depends on sunlight, and how creative humans could be. Even in total darkness, it's scary, but also inspiring, because science doesn't just ask what if, it asks what's next. And at Bright Mind Station, that's what we love most, exploring the biggest questions in space, nature, tech, and beyond. Now it's your turn. Could you survive in a world without the sun? What invention would you build to save humanity? And what would you name our next sun? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to vote sun or shadow. Which would you choose? And if your brain is glowing right now, hit that like button. Subscribe to Bright Mind Station and ring the bell so you never miss our next cosmic question. Until next time, keep learning, keep dreaming, and always stay bright.